So here we are yet again with another sneak peek for the upcoming chapter of Boruto. Do y'all know what this means? That means the real spoilers are about to drop. So if you want to react to the chapter early with me, I will be going live once the leaks start to drop. So it's very important you guys go ahead and subscribe and turn on them post notifications so you know exactly when it's time to go live. Y'all already know how great the live streams are. They're really fun and interactive, so hopefully we can keep that going for a very long time. It's honestly my favorite time of the month. And I'm just telling you right now, the live streams will not stay up. And it's not because I don't want to keep it up. That's not it. I quite literally have to remove it because of Shueisha. They've been tightening up security, so a lot of content creators been getting the boot lately. But anyway, that's not what you all came for. It's time to talk about the sneak peek of this month for chapter 34. So let's hop into it. So I remember a hot take that I reviewed that talked about Sarada and Sakura having a conversation about the Mangekyo Sharingan. And I think I completely overlooked this because I was really focused on the action part of this next chapter. But actually, this is pretty important too because this is just the beginning of Sarada's character development arc. The arc where she finds an answer to her blindness. So I see this as being a separate journey for her to become stronger while everything else is happening with Boruto, Code, and the rest of the Shinju. So as we open up to this scene, it looks like Sarada is okay for the most part, and her eye is not destroyed like many people thought for some reason. So she can still use Ohirume, but judging by this panel, it might not be such a good idea for her anymore. Since the incident that happened 2 chapters ago, her eyesight has gotten a bit worse than before, as she's putting her glasses on, but her vision is still blurry. So this means her prescription has changed. As Sakura tells her, "As I thought, it seems your prescription doesn't match. Your eyesight has clearly worsened compared to before." And as someone who wears glasses on the regular, this is a clear indication that Sarada is slowly going blind. If you need a stronger prescription, it means your eyesight has gotten considerably worse. And at the rate she's using her power, it won't be long until she goes completely blind. I don't even think she can fight without her glasses anymore. Now forget fighting, I'm not even sure she can operate on a day-to-day basis without her glasses. That's how bad it's gotten. So this is not something that Ikimoto could just put on the back burner for later. This is a big problem for Sarada because Ohirume is her trump card. That's why she's been so useful since the Ryu incident back in Sunagakure. And she hasn't been able to manifest a Susanoo yet. So taking her one ability that makes her as strong as she is, it's not good for her character. And if you've been paying attention to the general consensus surrounding Sarada before chapter 20, everyone thought she sucked. She really had no noticeable feats that would have you jumping out your seat. And on top of that, she's been getting thrown around by the likes of Hidari. So without that power, she's not even a code level adversary. Not to say that's necessarily bad, but it's not something you want to see from a character of Sarada's caliber. So continuing on with this conversation, Sakura tells Sarada that this is the risk that always accompanies the Mangekyo Sharingan. The more you use it, the more your eyesight deteriorates. It depends on the nature of the technique and the situations in which it's used, but regardless, if you continue using it, sooner or later you'll completely lose your sight. So right here, Sakura is not saying to use it conservatively. She's telling Sarada to not use it anymore, ever. And I think you all know the problem with that, right? The damage has already been done, so there's really no reversing it, not even with 100 healings. And I did have to mention that because a lot of people think that technique can just magically heal Sarada's eyes, even though the damage has already been done. It can't fix your eyesight like many people think. The only path for Sarada at this point is the old classic eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. But there lies the problem. The only other Sharingan user is Sasuke, and him only having one eye, it doesn't really fix Sarada's problem completely. And it doesn't really maximize her potential with the EMS. And while it doesn't maximize its use, it leaves Sasuke completely blind. And unless you don't plan on having Sasuke return to the story for combative purposes, I don't think this is a very good option. At least I can confidently say I don't like it very much. I think there's only 2 options Sarada can take that I think the audience would accept. For me personally, I think a clear-cut answer to Sarada's blindness is to acquire Sasuke's former set of eyes. The eyes that he exchanged for Itachi's eyes. Now the thing is, I don't think anyone would even know where to look for these eyes, except one person, and that's Orochimaru. If anyone would know where to find Sasuke's eyes, it would be him, considering Obito was the one that performed the transplant in the first place. So I think this is the easy answer for Sarada right now. She can just get those eyes and everything will be okay again. When Sasuke took Itachi's eyes, his eyesight was horrible too. It was well known that Itachi was fighting Sasuke basically blind, but when Sasuke took his eyes, his vision was restored back to 100%. So the current condition of the eyes don't really matter. What really matters is if it's still in good physical condition. So if Sarada gets Sasuke's old eyes and they're still in good shape, despite Sasuke overusing his original eyes, those eyes will restore Sarada's vision back to near 2020 again. Or at the bare minimum, they should restore her vision back to how it was pre-Mangekyo. And before she awakened it, she still needed glasses, so she might still need glasses even after getting the EMS? I don't know. But what would be cool is if she didn't need her glasses anymore. And I could actually see Ikimoto doing that. It's something people often don't think about. But yeah, there's a world where Sarada doesn't need glasses anymore because of her getting these new eyes. It's a small but interesting little change to her character that I think everyone would enjoy to see. Okay, so I'm not done. There's also another path to her getting the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan that I wouldn't mind to see. And that revolves around science. The thing that benefits this era of Shinobi that the last era didn't have is access to a plethora of different resources. Science is a big focal point in the world of Boruto. Now for real, everything revolves around science and scientific ninja tools. Boruto's sword is classified as a scientific ninja weapon. Sumire is a scientist second in command to Amato, and they both have the same importance and impact to the story as the shinobi who's actually going out there and doing the heavy lifting. And in addition to that, I mean, Kawaki's entire body is a scientific ninja tool, technically a cyborg. So this era of shinobi has access to a lot more options due to research on the past. So as much as Orochimaru could be a key figure in helping Sarada, I can't forget about Amato, the one who's already making a huge impact. So besides the first solution, I want to see Amato helping Sarada by experimenting on her eyes, and possibly finding a way for her vision to be restored, or at the bare minimum, stop it from getting worse from the overuse of Ohirume. And I don't think that's asking for too much. He's someone who was able to manifest god level techniques in cyborgs by implanting cells of a literal god into them. So this would be on a much smaller scale than that. Granted, it still wouldn't be easy, but if possible, I would like to see what Amato could possibly do to help her. Even emulating an EMS would be sufficient. So the Sharingan would act like a pair of scientific ninja weapons. And this way, I could see Amato really making his mark in the story. And just from me talking this out with you all today, I can see Amato being a focal point, or one of the focal points of this new arc, because he could be the clear answer for Sarada's issues. And he also had a moment last chapter where he expressed interest in Kashinkoji and prescience. Now I know these are two different situations and motives, but I think the story is telling us that soon Amato is going to come in clutch for something. And since that is a possibility now, along with Code, I could see Amato as the chapter cover this month too. So those two are the characters I'm going with, Amato and Code. And I know neither of these characters have gotten the cover in Two Blue Vortex yet. So this is a perfect time to give them what they need, because these two characters are going to be highlighted soon. If we get Amato at the chapter cover this month, then next month is going to be Code, and vice versa. So that's my prediction for the next couple of chapters. But back to Sarada. Yeah, I think these two options are her only choice at this point, because Ohirume is a much needed technique that they can use against Jura. And it would be best if she could actually use the ability without her going blind. I mean, the ability already drains her chakra massively with every use. So even if she couldn't go blind, she's still taking a risk while using it. So she still wouldn't be able to spam it. But if somehow Sarada could get to the point where she could use this technique even just twice a day, that would be pretty good for her. Sakura mentions that the blindness itself depends on the nature of the technique and situations in which it's used. And it just has me thinking how Sarada went blind, or is starting to go blind so quickly. I mean, she only used Ohirume about 2 to 3 times before the blindness started to kick in. But in those times she used it, it was relatively close to one another. When we look at how fast Sasuke went blind, it seemed to be a little faster than Sarada, because Sasuke only used Amaterasu one time when he started seeing signs, just off the first time, despite Amaterasu being a much weaker technique than Ohirume. That's actually crazy. But looking at it a bit closer, Sasuke didn't only use it once. He used Amaterasu, and then he extinguished the flames all in the same fight. That right there must have done it. It must have accelerated his eyesight deterioration. Itachi didn't make the same mistake earlier on, but later on he did use Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu in the same day, which probably accelerated his blindness too. This led him to being almost completely blind by the time he fought Sasuke. So that's why Itachi was able to keep his vision a bit longer than Sarada and Sasuke. It's all about how you use it, because eventually you will go blind if you do decide to use this power. Sarada used Ohirume 3 times in the same month, probably only days apart from each other. And you see how that ended up for her. And I'll be easy on her. It's not her fault, because it's not like she had anyone to warn her about the risks. I'm pretty sure she never spoke to her father about it, so this is the result. What everyone feared is happening now, and the only way for her to get her eyesight back is to get new eyes, preferably Sasuke's original eyes, or simply have a model experiment on her to restore her eyesight back to how it was, or even find a way to permanently combat the MS blindness. But nonetheless, they'll probably have to find a solution, and fast, because Ohirume is just too valuable of a technique to lose. So this is more or less all there is to the sneak peek. I didn't really want to talk about anything else but the sneak peek, because we already know what's bound to happen between Boruto and Code later on. I made several videos going over that. So I just wanted this to be a solo video for Sarada and her journey. But anyway, let me know what you think the answer is for her. How can she redeem herself? And what do you think about the sneak peek? Of course, leave all your thoughts and ideas down below for me to read. And without further ado, if you enjoyed this video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, and turn on them post notifications so you know whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.